I'm Trey Kearney. I am the author of the book, It's Healing Time, Restoring Hope in Women After Infidelity, and It's Healing Time, Men Hurt Too. For more information, go to my website at www.traykearney.com, TRAYKEARNEY.com. Welcome to the Woman to Woman Show, everybody. I'm Trey Kearney, and we are on the set right now with Miss Maria Davis, AIDS activist, been in the music game for so long and just done so many things for her community. Hello, Maria.
Hi, Trey. How are you?
I am great. It is so great to see you again. It's always a pleasure to see you because you always come dropping the knowledge.
Yes.
So I wanted you to come here today because, you know, the show is based on women not sleeping with each other's men. Mm-hmm. Side chicks, you know, knowing their worth and knowing that they're better than that. Mm-hmm. And I just want women to know that outside of the consequences of stress and getting into it with another woman, there are health issues that are involved. Mm-hmm. So I want you to just tell everybody a little bit about you.
Well, you know my story for so many years, and I thank you for your love and support of, you know, me showcasing, and you were there on the forefront. And then, you know, when I was diagnosed with HIV, you were there for me also, so I really appreciate it. I'm proud of what you're doing and bringing the women's issues to the forefront, because as women, I always feel that we're being left behind.
Yes.
You know, so if we don't do it, who will?
Nobody.
So I was diagnosed with HIV in 1995, and I found out through a life insurance policy. You know, I wanted, if anything had happened to me, I wanted to be able to take care of my two children, not thinking that I was HIV positive, because at that time we thought that it was a gay white man's disease. And I took the test willingly and said, oh, no, I don't have HIV. Because everybody was saying, only white people get HIV, not black people. You know, we the powerful people. We came from the slave ships, you know. We don't get diseases like that.
Yes.
But, you know, not being educated about HIV and not having the knowledge, and not loving myself.
Yes.
Of course, I had unprotected sex, because, you know, we have to be clear about that.
Yes.
I take responsibilities, you know, for my actions.
And that's what we do on the Woman to Woman Show. We remove the man from the equation, and we hold the woman accountable for your part in this. So I love that you said that I take responsibility for my actions, because no one did anything to you that you didn't allow them to do.
Right. And people always say to me, well, what do you think about him? Do you want to kill him? No, I don't want to kill him. I want to move on with my life. I want to live.
Yes.
Because I can't live if I'm living in the past.
Yes.
I have to live in the future and moving forward. And so, you know, lo and behold, through a letter in the mail, and I still have that letter to today.
Wow.
Standing in the post office, it said, Dear Miss Davis, we're sorry to inform you that you have the HIV antibody in your blood. Please go and seek help.
Wow.
So, you know, what do you do with information like that?
How devastating was that? And how did you even process that? Because, you know, usually when nowadays we take the HIV test, we know we go to the doctor's office, they call you and they sit you down. If it's something like that, they'll call you in and you bring somebody with you. How do you handle something like that in that moment?
Well, you know what? I was in denial, because there was a time span between me receiving the letter, and at that time I was dating somebody else, and I had my showcase Mad Wednesday, which was very popular and was doing very well. And, you know, I said, dang, I don't believe this. Because back then, it was if you took the Eastern Bloc HIV test or you took the Western Bloc, something was wrong with the Eastern Bloc. You know, you make up all these excuses why you can't have HIV. So I didn't go immediately and get retested by the health department. So after a couple of, you know, weeks went on, and I said, you know what, I have to tell this man that I'm with now that I'm HIV positive.
So it wasn't from the man you were with?
No. I was going to marry him.
Wow.
I found out that he had a second life that he was living, and I don't mean gay, because second life, that means what he was down low. No. He was living with another woman, had a baby by another woman. Every time I would come into Jamaica, he would figure out a way to say he was going out of town and tell the other woman. And I would be there for 3 weeks, 2 weeks, and that's all she wrote.
This is the thing that I want to tell women. Just because you think you're with somebody all the time. See, this was my situation. I felt like it was so hard for him to cheat because we were together so much. You're never with somebody all the time. So there's always that window of opportunity. So you thought you were in a monogamous relationship.
Sure did. Was gonna move to Jamaica.
Oh.
You know, grow locks, live there forever. Because I honestly thought that because he was from the Caribbean islands, that he did not lie.
Wow.
I thought only men. Now this is how I process
it.
That only men in the United States of America told lies.
Yes.
And so what I found out was I set myself up, and that it doesn't matter where you come from. If you're not honest and you're not an honest individual, it doesn't matter. The lies will be lies no matter where you come from. You can come from India, you can come from Africa, you can come from the United States, you can come from Wisconsin, it doesn't matter. A lie is a lie. But the thing we have to do is we have to stop living in these fairy tale as women.
Yes.
These fairy tale relationships. You know, we see Cinderella on TV. Cinderella is not our story.
No.
And as African American women and men, we have a whole situation in our relationships.
Yes.
We're always struggling. We're not honest with each other. You know, black men say black women are too hard on them.
Yeah.
And sometimes we are.
Yeah.
Sometimes we're trying to look for the Jay-Z and the 50 Cent when we don't appreciate the man that's the janitor next door. Because love is love. If somebody loves you, it doesn't matter how much money they have.
Yes.
You work together to build each other up, to be successful as a family and as a community. And for everybody, for your children, and our children need to see that.
Yes.
And we have so much work to do in our community. You know, people, it's HIV, it's this, it is so much stuff in our communities
going on.
You know, we had all disparities, not because we're more prone, but because we don't go to the doctor, we don't want to lay on the couch, we don't want to check in with the psychiatrist.
Yes.
We think seeing a psychiatrist means that you have some mental issues. Yes, you do. All of us have been traumatized in our lives.
Yes.
You know, getting HIV, trauma. Then being diagnosed with AIDS 3 years later, that's trauma. That's traumatizing to somebody. So you need to talk about it.
How did you find out that he had a whole nother?
A family member told me.
Oh.
His aunt. Me and his aunt became very close. And she was the one that told me everything that went on. And she was the one that also told me that I think I revealed to her that I was HIV positive.
Yes.
And I said, I think your nephew gave it to me, infected me. And she said, I think you're right.
Wow.
Because he's been going to the bush doctor every couple of weeks and getting some kind of, you know, potion from the bush doctor. And so she really thought, and he didn't look right. How about that?
Oh, yeah.
The last time I slept with him,
he didn't look
something told me in my spirit.
That's what I was going to ask you.
And I want to tell women, when the gut tell you, because that's a gift God gave you.
Yes.
When the gut tells you something ain't right, believe it.
Yes. That's what I wanted to ask you. Were there red flags that you just pushed to the side? Yes,
it was red flags. And you know, as women, we believe we can change a man, we can change circumstances, but the only one you can change is you.
Yes.
And if somebody loves you enough, then they'll make the changes that is necessary to be made for the relationship to go further, get married, all those great things. But it's a lot of work. We have a lot of work as women, and we have a lot of work as African American men.
Yeah, and I say, too, about us as women, that it starts with us. Because we got to start being real with ourselves. Like you said, we got to stop living this fairy tale lifetime movie, thinking that things are going to work out if we just ignore them. When in all actuality, we have the right to ask a man questions about his health. So what are some of the questions that you think that we should be asking potential men that we want to marry? Like when we're dating, what is it that you think is appropriate for us to ask somebody? Not the first date, but I'm talking about when you start getting serious. What should we be asking?
First of all, communication is very important. And as women and men, we don't communicate well with each other.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and don't be afraid to ask those important questions. Like, you should be asking an individual that you're serious about in a relationship, what is your health like?
Yes.
Because those are important things. Do you go to the doctor?
Yes.
Does he go to the dentist? Do you go to the dentist?
Mm-hmm.
Do you go and get your checkup the way you should get your checkup? And then when you decide that you want to go further into relationship and become very, I don't even want to say sex, because sex is kind of boring.
Yes.
It's, you know, it's the champagne popping and the bubble baths and the caressing and the cards and, you know, saying sweet things to each other. And when you decide that you want to cross over into that, guess what? You need your first date should be to the health department.
Ladies, did you hear that?
To the clinic.
Your first date should be to the health department, to the clinic, to get tested. Should wives be tested? Because
Absolutely.
wives think that I'm exempt because I'm married.
No, husbands and wives. And if your husband have a problem with getting an HIV test, then I would be very afraid.
Yes.
I'm serious. I would be very nervous and very afraid. Because if you have an open and honest conversation and you communicate, it shouldn't be nothing that you can't talk about.
Exactly.
As a family, as a unit.
And speaking of as a family, you keep going right into my questions. How was it for you when you had to tell your children that you were HIV positive?
It was very hard, and I'm not going to say that that is an easy thing to do. Whether it's HIV, whether it's cancer, you know, these are illnesses that not only affect you, but affect your family members. And the thing that makes HIV so unique is because it's connected to sex.
Yes.
So the first thing people do is, oh, so you abuse drugs.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
so you were a prostitute. Oh, you have many partners. People don't understand. You can only have one partner and still get HIV.
Yes.
If either one of you are not being honest with each other and communicating with each other.
What is the difference between HIV and AIDS?
Well, HIV is the virus. It's the human deficiency virus. And HIV is the virus that tears down the immune system that causes AIDS. Okay. So you don't die from AIDS. AIDS, the immune system's broken down. You're then diagnosed with AIDS. And then if you're not healthy and you're not eating right, you know, I look good because, you know, I take care of myself. But if you're not healthy and you're not eating right, then it's not the AIDS that kills you, it's the cancer, cervical cancer for women, you know, uterine cancer for women, Kaposi sarcoma, which is cancer of the skin for men, you know, PCP pneumonia, which is a special pneumonia that only people with AIDS get.
Wow. So
there are many things. So you don't die of AIDS, you die of complications to AIDS.
Oh, okay, because people think that, another misconception that I think people have is that you can just breathe on me.
No.
And I'm going to get it.
No. Something has to happen. It's a blood.
Yes.
It's involving blood. If I bleed on the floor, guess what? If you step on it, you're not going to get HIV.
Okay.
Something has to happen. The immune system has to be broken down. That's why making sure that you know your STD and your STI status.
Wait. You gotta let them know what that is.
STD is sexually transmitted disease. That means there's no cure. That's herpes, hepatitis, that's HIV, human papillomavirus. And then STI is sexually transmitted infections. That means you can get medication and it can be cured. But the problem is with either one of them that it breaks down the immune system, and that is the tunnel way for HIV to come and get into your blood system. Yeah.
Okay, so can we talk about what medications you take or how many medications you take?
Well, you know, it's not important about the medications that I take. The most important thing is that you get into care. Once you find out that you're HIV positive, that you get into care immediately so that you can live a healthy and longer life. Because that's the most important thing, is viral suppression in our community.
Wow.
Because the higher the viral load is in your community, because that's how they do it now. They're not taking just each individual person. They're doing zip codes now.
Wow.
So 126, I live in Harlem, 127, 130. We have a lot of virus in our community. So if you have a lot of virus in your community and you date within your community, your chances is higher of getting HIV versus you dating someone in a community that does not have a higher viral load in their community.
Wow. When should a parent